Welcome back, 3D students. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make eyes on stalks like these. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is unhide the rest of the mesh. If you remember correctly, we hid half of it. So I'm going to switch to polygon mode and click unhide all. And that'll bring back my mesh. Now, it's important that you unhide when you are in polygon mode, because if you don't, this happens. Watch, I'm in vertex mode and I click unhide all. Okay, so to create the eye stalks, let's go ahead and switch to vertex mode. And I'm going to select all these that are on the top of the head, and what I'm looking for is 4 for each stalk. And then what we're going to do is inset them by using the inset tool. But if we inset them together like this, then we'll inset them as a group. So we need to do one at a time. Once we get that done, we need to check it under smoothing and see if we have any lumps. We do not. So then what we do is go to vertex mode and sort of round these out a little bit. So to do that, what I'm going to do is grab this one. I'm going to make sure that I stay in the X and Y axis only and move those in. To sort of round off the stalk. You can see what happened there when I moved it. I need to move that back up. Try to stay on the smooth curve here. If you accidentally move it too far down, then you got to come back and move it up. Okay, and then we could do the other one. And when you see that those polygons buckle like that, then that's a sure sign that you need to move them back up. And once you get them rounded off, then this one's too far. Once you get them rounded off, then we can extrude them. Select each group. Go to the front viewport and hold down Shift and extrude them upward. Now I want to level these two off here. See how they're slanted? I want them to be flat. So I'm going to use the scale tool and let's scale them in the Y-axis to flatten them out. Then I'll move them up a little bit more and then maybe switch to vertex mode and just kind of move them out a little bit like so. I also think I would like them to be a little smaller, so I'm going to grab these and scale them in a little bit. Oops, that didn't work very well. Let's do them one at a time. And I'd like them to taper a little bit too in the center. So I'm going to go to Swift Loop and put a loop right there and right there. And then I'm going to switch to edge mode, turn off Swift Loop, and grab this edge and taper them in like so. Now that's not in the original drawing, I just thought it would be a nice detail. And then let's check it in NURM smoothing, and that looks pretty good. Now if your creature has 3 stalks, then you're going to have more edges here or something. That would be a different scenario. But in order for them to be round, you need to have 4 polygons. So you have 4 sides. So you can move them around like that. Okay, so the next step is to make the eye sockets, and we're going to use boxes, spherified boxes, just like we did for the body. So just kind of create a box. Doesn't really matter how wide it is. And then let's go to the Modify tab and make sure that it's the right size. I'm going to try 60 by 60 by 60. And then I'm going to spherify it. Now what we need to do, if we rotate around here, what we need to do is attach this to our stalk. So we need 4 edges like this, so it lines up, so we can weld this onto our creature. I think I'm going to go back to the front view and maybe scale this up just a little bit. Then I'm going to hold down Shift while I move a new copy over to the other eye stalk. And I'm going to scale this one up since it's much bigger. Now let's select both of these and right click and convert them both to editable polys. And then let's smooth them and see if they are about the right size. They are. So the next step here would be to weld these up and delete some polygons. So let's get the rotate tool and rotate each one so they line up a little better with the stalk. And what we're trying to do is line this edge up with this edge. And now in order for us to be able to weld them together, what we're going to have to do is attach them to the body mesh. So click the body mesh and go to Attach in the command panel and click each sphere and then turn off Attach. Now we can still move these by using element mode. And we do need to move them because they need to line up in the side view as well. So now we need to weld these up. So let's select, just go to polygon mode and select the bottom polygons of each sphere and delete them. Notice how our plane gets in the way here. This is why I put it in a layer, so I can toggle that visibility anytime. I need to check the top of my eye stalk, so I'm going to switch to element mode, select each eye sphere, and click Hide Selected. I need to delete these polygons too. Then I'll switch back to element mode and unhide all. And then we just need to simply weld up the vertices. I think that I want to make this opening a little smaller. So I'm going to go to border mode and select that border and grab my scale tool and hold down Shift and scale that in a little bit. And I think I'll probably do that with this one as well. Oops. I could have inset this before I deleted it, but I don't know why I didn't do that. Now I want to move these up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to switch back to element mode, and I'm going to change coordinate systems here to local. The reason I'm doing that is because these are slightly rotated, and I want to be able to move them up in their orientation axis. Local. And you can see how that changed. Now we should be able to weld them up. Might be easier to do it in wireframe. I'll switch to vertex mode, and then I'm going to use target weld. So you right click on the quad menu, it's right here, and then you click on one vertex and click on the other one, and you just weld them together. Notice the ones that are facing away from me are grayed out. That's helpful. Occasionally you're going to have to right click to turn off target weld, select another vertex so you can rotate your view, and then you turn it back on. Now, obviously, this needs to be straightened out here, so I'm going to try to do that by using polygon mode and just pulling those up. It doesn't work. So I think I'm going to select the top 4 polygons on one of my spheres, and then I'm going to use the grow selection tool to grow that down until I get to a point where I think I can move them up. There we go. That's better. Do that to the other one. This grow selection tool is really useful. Okay, the next step is to delete the front polygons so that we can have, an eye socket. So I'm going to select the front 4 polygons and use that grow selection tool again to select those, and then I'm going to delete them. And now when we smooth this, we have some nice little eye socket looking things. Although I would like to get rid of this sort of edge here. So I'm going to switch to border mode and select that edge and then scale it in the z-axis. Scale it in the z-axis to flatten it out. We'll do the same thing with the other one. Alright, now the next thing we've got to do is select that edge. We can use border mode still here. Get the scale tool, and in all axes hold down shift and scale in a little sort of a lip there. And then switch to the move tool, hold down shift and scale in a little bit. And now we have eye sockets into which we can insert eyeballs, which we will do in the next video. And I'll see you then.